Go! Let's go, baby!
Sorry, just trying to hype everybody up, but welcome back to the channel, guys. Dillon here as always, and today I'm going to be making a Tyler the Creator type beat. This is going to be more of like a sampled kind of R&B type beat, because I found this dope sample that I want to just kind of chop up a little bit and use, and so I'm going to show you guys how to chop up your own samples and some things that you're going to want to keep in mind when making these types of beats. I'm going to go into the drums and all that good stuff. In addition to that, just want to thank everyone for checking out my new song. Link in the description if you haven't heard it yet. But so far, everyone seems to really like it. So yeah, thanks again for, supporting me and listening to the song. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so obviously this is a different camera angle than usual. Not sure if I'm going to keep this angle, but enjoy this view with me. Alright, so to get started with this beat, I've just got this cool little sample that I found. I thought it sounded very Tyler-y.
Looking out my window, I don't recognize the world I know.
I'm hoping that if I do get flagged, that will help me not get flagged. First thing you're going to want to do though when you have a sample though is you're going to want to make sure it's lined up with the correct BPM. So you can either right click and go to detect tempo. This kind of works sometimes for me, but usually it doesn't. So I usually just do it the old fashioned way and hope that where I'm getting the sample tells the BPM. This I can already tell is not lined up. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. And I don't even want this part right here. So I'm just going to take that off. And let's hear how it sounds now with the... Yep, it's on time. So I'm gonna make a chop right here because I know I want this part right here. And then I also want this part to loop. And so I'm gonna chop this right here as well. So this is a really simple chop. You can do a little bit more complex stuff, which I'll show you guys in a bit as well.
Looking out my window, I don't recognize the world I used to know.
Then next, what you're gonna want to do so you can chop it up, select all of your sample, whatever chop you make, Control Alt C, and just turn it into a WAV file. Then you're gonna open up Fruity Slicer, and then just drag this into it. And then once it's dragged in, just go to this blade right here, click beat. So that means each chop will be on beat, which is really important. And then you're also gonna wanna move your attack up a bit. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna get rid of this popping sound, which let me just show you how that sounds.
Looking out my window, I don't recognize.
So that's like super annoying, that clicking sound. You definitely don't want that at all. Literally just move this knob up a bit, and you can move the decay up as well.
Looking out my window, I don't recognize the world
And so it's got kind of a pulsing sound, but that's what I actually want, so it sounds more sampled. And then what you can do is you can actually go in here and make some cool chops. But I think I'm going to keep mine a bit simple. Maybe I'll have a little bit of a change up. So let me just, mess around with this and see what I can come up with. Alright, so I'm probably not going to use this chop. I'll probably just stay with the simple one, but I wanted to give you guys some examples of things you can do by just chopping stuff up within Fruity Slicer. And so I'm just going to play this. Maybe I'll find a way to fit it in the beat, but I just thought this sounded cool, so here's an example.
Looking out my window, looking out my window,
Ooh, shit. Alright, so now I'm just gonna add some drums. I just want to get like a nice bounce going. I'm actually going to be using drums from my up and coming drum kit, which should drop, honestly, it'll probably drop later this week. And this new drum kit that I made is more so like realer drum sound. So something you might hear in like a Tyler Creator type beat, Kendrick Lamar type beat. Kanye, definitely this is a great drum kit if you want to make Kanye type beats as well. But again, if you want to just make any type of beats, definitely check out the Only Drum Kit. And I'm actually going to be using some sounds from that as well.
looking out my window. Looking out my window, I don't recognize the
this drum bounce is just sounds like almost like somebody on an actual drum is playing it, which is kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna sound dope. Also, if you haven't already checked it out, I did a video where I tasted some of like the hottest hot sauce in the world and made a beat in order to promote my new song, which you can find link in the description. So, you know, check that video out as well. Now let's go and add a bass line. So it's just a recommendation if you're curious on how to know how to find like, okay, what is the root note that I should be looking for? If you just go to your sample, right click and go to edit in pitch corrector, you can find what key everything's on. And so typically what I like to do when I'm adding my bass line is I'll look right here and I'll just look. And for example, it starts off, and a lot of this like first half right here is actually on G. And so that's probably going to be a root note that I'm going to use. And then down here, it looks like it actually moves up to, what is this? Like A sharp. So maybe before it switches to the second half, I'll just add like an A sharp right there. Then if we look down here, it looks like most of this is actually on A, and so that's probably the main note I'll be using, and maybe I'll go off it a little bit. But this is just a good indicator on like what is your root note, what's going to sound good for your bass line if you are using a sample. So here's the bass line, and it's pretty simple. I'm just using the notes that I mentioned.
Looking out my window, I don't recognize the world I used to know. World I used to know. Looking out my window, I don't recognize the world I used to know. World I used to know.
Alright, so I've laid this beat out. Did end up doing one thing that's pretty cool, and this is like a good tip for using samples. And basically what I did was I grabbed my original sample, right clicked make unique, and then I put it to a specific channel rack, and then I just added a fruity chorus on this right here. I moved it up an octave and it sounds pretty tight, like it sounds like kind of perfect for this beat when I did that. And I made sure to turn it way down, so you don't want it too loud. You kind of just want it sitting in the background almost. Aside from that, the original cut that I made where it's just kind of like it makes it sound a bit choppier, I thought that just sounded a little bit better in maybe like the verse or like the pre-intro. I think for the chorus it sounds better when it doesn't sound overly chopped up like that. And so yeah, that's basically what I did.